Welcome to The Guide. It's what you should know for where you want to go, what you didn't know for where you are, and what you can prevent from what you could learn. So why not learn from each other, together, here on The Guide.
She said I'm the problem, that's beyond me. All I ever wanted was to satisfy my body. Ain't got a man, I'm just inside this shit is lovely. Heard you don't get sexy when he petty. You can hit my line now, just be ready. When you hit me up, just say my name, don't be scared.
So, Kevy, I've been hearing a lot about you recently. You know, you've been grinding literally during this season. You dropped your first album, you're doing music videos, like you're doing your thing. I'm like really curious to know like who was Kevy before you stepped into this field?
Into the music field? Before I stepped into the music field, I was just a humble kid. I used to play a lot of sports, you know what I mean? Just hang out with buddies and stuff. You know, I wasn't really into the music, like making music, but I was always, you know, listening to it and stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What about your upbringing? Like, were you ever around or any surroundings that involved you being interested in a certain type of music or?
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. When I first got introduced to music, I was about maybe like 9 something. You know, I just found a CD. It was like a 50-cent CD in my big brother's room. You know what I mean? Just put it in the CD player. I started listening. I just fell in love with like the lyrics and stuff. You know what I mean? The vibe, and then. So when I started expanding, listening to other stuff like Wayne and stuff, like, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much how I got introduced to music, and then from there it just skyrocketed. Yeah.
So when did you know when was the point where you realized that this is something that you want to do for yourself? Like you want to give it a try and pursue it?
Like recently, to be honest. Actually, when I was younger, I used to write a little rhymes too when I was a kid.
Oh yeah?
Because my older brother used to rap too, you know what I mean? So I used to want to be like him and stuff. I used to write raps and stuff. I used to show it to him, and then he used to just gas me up. It could have been garbage, you know, but it's my older brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I was off that. I started playing sports, you know what I mean? In high school, like a lot of basketball and stuff with friends, and then I actually got back into it when, like I think a couple years ago, I was in a dark place, you know what I mean? And then. I used to just write my notes down and stuff, you know what I mean? Like a little diary and stuff, you know what I mean? And then my homeboy, Linda's son, like that's like my right-hand man, that's like my brother, you know what I mean? And he was getting into the music too, you know what I mean? And then he was telling, I used to talk to him about like, you know, like regular stuff, like you would talk to your brother about like, you know, like what you're going through and stuff, you know? He's telling me write it down and stuff, you know? And then he was getting into the music, he was like, yo, put it in rhymes and stuff, you know what I mean? And I used to start doing that, and then it used to impress me, you know? I used to keep my mind busy from what's actually going on. So I used to just keep doing it, trying to put words together, you know? I felt like it just started to impress me and stuff. I wanted to lay it down, see how it sounds, you know? And I think the first song that I ever released was like, it was kind of like a sad song, you know what I mean? Like some depression stuff, you know what I mean? And from there, I just kept going, and I started making like, you know, other types
different
of stuff.
Type of song.
Yeah.
I noticed that like in your album, you have like a different variety of songs. Like you listen to one thing, you feel one way, and another thing, it's like you're telling a story. I even noticed in Meds, like you talk about using music for therapy and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
As an outlet, right?
Most definitely, yeah.
I think that was like really creative because I'm like, okay, like you're really putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
But your relationship with Linda's son that you mentioned, do you feel like that also, because you mentioned like, you know, he pushed you to write it down and all that stuff. What about like your creative side and that relationship? Do you feel like that helped you kind of guide you into what type of music that you wanted to do, or was that something that you just discovered? Me
and Linda's son, since high school, he used to put me on a lot of songs, you know? He used to be like, yo, did you hear this song that just dropped? Did you hear this? You know, we used to be like kind of like hip hop heads, you know? We like if the conversation was dull, we'd always talk about like rap or like music, like even like all types of stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, we already knew what kind of genre we were going into, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like, kind of switch it up. Our sound is kind of, I don't know, some people say it's some people say it's not, but me and him, we started it together, you know? We kind of, yeah, so it might be a little similar, you know?
I feel like your flows are very different.
You think so?
Yeah, like your flow is, it's like, Linda's son has like, it's more, I don't know how to explain it, but his flow is a lot more like quick. He's very quick. He's very like on the beat. He has a different type of sound.
He's really good at like, punching in as well.
Exactly. And I feel like you're more so, it really depends on the type of song that you do, but you're more so mellow, but you have this different type of, you know, creativity, which I actually wanted to get into, your creative side when you do music. Like, I really find that really interesting how you are able to kind of like, the way you portray your music, you know, inside the music video. Like when you hear it, it's like, you think one way, but then when you watch one of your videos, you're like, oh, this is like a different story you're showing us. So can you get into that and show us, like kind of tell us like how does that go about, you connecting those two together?
The videos and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's about, I think it's more about like being creative, you know what I mean? Trying to do new things with the videos and stuff, you know what I mean? Whatever song I make, it's like I already have an idea of what kind of video I want to make for it, you know what I mean?
Before you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I already know like what I want to do, what types of stuff, you know what I mean? For the most part, I don't like doing too much for my videos. I like more of, I want you to listen, you know what I mean? More than anything, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. So like, I like kind of like not too much, not the acting videos or like all that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like the ones where you could bop, like the videos dancing and stuff. You could just bop your head to.
Yeah.
Just listen to the lyrics and stuff. You know what I mean? See who the artist is behind the music. That's it. You know?
Exactly. You also have some tracks that are kind of catchy. Like I think Shoddy's the one that I heard. I'm just like, I used to just sing it just randomly. It's very catchy. But I was really interested with your album because it was for a first album. I'm like, you really like put yourself out there. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like, what was the mindset when you were making the album? What did you want people to feel when they were listening to you?
To be honest, I released a little like EPs before and stuff, just finding my sound, types of stuff, you know what I mean? I released one EP where I was just letting out all my feelings into like all the tunes and stuff. And then for this one, I just wanted to showcase what kind of artist that, you know what I mean, like I could be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted people to see like, okay, he could make the music about women, he could make the music like about turn up music, you know, the music about the struggle, all types of stuff, you know what I mean? I just wanted to show people what I'm capable of is pretty much what I'm saying, yeah.
I think that was like very well understood throughout your album. And what about the name of the album? Because Soul for Sale, yeah. How did you come up with that name?
To be honest, Soul for Sale, the real meaning behind that is, it's kind of deep, you know what I mean? It's a bit inappropriate, but for the most part, pretty much it's just me laying my soul down into the songs, you know what I mean, onto the tracks, and then I'm putting it on all platforms, so I'm selling it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just my soul, you know what I mean, on my tunes, and then listen to it like I'm selling it, you know what I mean? It's for sale, you know what I mean? Listen to it type stuff, you know what I mean?
That's clever.
But some people think I'm talking about selling my soul. You know what I mean?
I would see why people would say that, but the way that you're expressing it right now, like it kind of makes sense, you know, like this is your first album. You're putting yourself out there. This is you showing yourself, you know, as this artist. But you have, honestly, like your content has been very, very consistent. You've been dropping singles here and there. You know, you have your album, you have your music videos. And I find that in a lot of your music videos, you really show your area. You show where you're from. And I'm pretty sure like most of the people in your videos are like your friends and all this stuff. Can you explain a little bit about that and why it's so consistent and important for you to show these parts?
It's because, to be honest, I wanna be somebody from where I come from, because it's not that many people coming out from where I'm coming from, you know what I mean? So it's like I wanna be like an example for people, like, oh, this guy did it, I could do it too, you know what I mean? And for the most part, all the people that you see in my videos are all folks that I grew up with, you know what I mean? I trust them, all of them, you know what I mean? We're in this together, you know what I mean? Whether it's music or something else, we're all in it together, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I'm not really that much of a social person, as you can tell, but those folks I rock, you know what I mean? They always accepted me, you know? I was always like the new kid coming into that neighborhood, but, you know, they brought me in, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like, Those are my folks. I always put them in my videos. You'll probably see them a lot more too.
I notice a few faces,
Yeah, we won't stop. For as long as you see me, you're gonna see them too, for sure.
That's dope. That shows that you're very caring. You care about your people. Yeah, which gets me, curious to know like what is next for you and your music and who you are becoming as an artist.
Yeah. What's next? To be honest, more music. Obviously, this is just the beginning. I don't want to talk too much about what's next because I'm the type of person, like if I talk about it, I feel like I already did it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I like to just do it, you know what I mean? Just keep it in my head, keep it to myself and just do it, and just execute type stuff, you know what I mean? I feel like every time I talk about it, it makes me feel like I accomplished it, but I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, I can understand that. What about, in more of a broad view, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years, I see myself more enhanced, more turned up, you know what I mean? More, just a better version of myself, I'm always gonna keep the hunger in me for sure, most definitely, but I feel like 5 years from now, it's gonna pay off, most definitely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
So, somebody might be watching this and, want to do exactly what you're doing, get into the music field, rap, however they're feeling, and, kind of the same way that you're doing. So what advice can you give to someone that's trying to step into that?
Just be yourself behind the mic. Don't try to do something, don't try to be something you're not, you know what I mean? It's always the best way when you're just being yourself, you know what I mean? Like, as you can tell, if you listen to my music, I don't think you get another vibe. It's like, oh, he sounds like a certain someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got behind the mic and just did whatever made how I felt, you might hear some random noises in the ad-libs and stuff, like weird stuff, but it's just me, you know what I mean? Everything in there is just for a reason, you know what I mean? Just be yourself, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Because only you could be you, you know what I mean? You could do you. Nobody could be you better than you, you know what I mean?
That's very true. Oftentimes I feel like, when people step into new things, they're afraid. So, they're kind of like iffy of how people will perceive them, comparing themselves to other artists and stuff like that.
Definitely. That's the worst thing I feel like you could do, to be honest. That's why I like, low-key, I don't even like being on social media, to be honest, too much, you know what I mean? It's like a popularity contest on there, you see a rapper, like, oh, this guy has all these chains, all this money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like, apparently, I don't know, I heard this from someone, like, a lot of people go through the pressure from just being on social media.
I can believe that.
Trying to keep up with the next person, you know what I mean? That's why for the longest time I had my IG deactivated, you know what I mean? I don't like seeing stuff, you know what I mean? But I feel like just stay in your own lane, be yourself, you know what I mean? That's it. That's all it is, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really like this conversation with you. I feel like, this is you, Kevy, and then there's like Kevy, the artist, and it's like the two together. I can see that now after speaking with you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it was really, really nice speaking with you, and I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for what you have next.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next time on The Guide.
But the song is basically about being addicted to bad habits. It's a metaphor for drugs, white, but I don't do that specifically. It was just like a funny way of trying to